Hello. General Hospital today will reveal Cameron Mathison, the beloved actor known for his role as Drew Kane on the long-running soap opera General Hospital, recently surprised fans with a powerful personal update that has sparked both admiration and concern. In a series of gym selfies posted to his Instagram, Cameron appeared shirtless, toned, and seemingly in high spirits. His familiar optimism shone through as he mentioned his gradual recovery from a serious flu compounded by pneumonia. Beneath the inspiring visuals and positive tone was the harrowing truth of what this recovery truly demanded, especially for someone who has been courageously battling a chronic condition like kidney cancer. While the general public might view seasonal flu as a temporary discomfort, this year's outbreak is anything but ordinary. According to a report from Today, the 2026 flu season has seen the emergence of a particularly aggressive strain, H3N2, subtype K. This mutated variant is believed to have originated in Europe before spreading across Canada and making its way to the United States. Its rapid proliferation across the Northern Hemisphere has alarmed epidemiologists due to its higher-than-normal complications, even in otherwise healthy individuals. For someone like Cameron, whose immune system has already been compromised by his ongoing fight against kidney cancer, this new flu strain represented a far greater risk than what the average person would face. In his Instagram caption, Cameron acknowledged that the flu had hit him hard, stating that his new year began slower than expected due to both the virus and the subsequent development of pneumonia. What seemed like a minor illness quickly escalated into a critical health event that forced him to halt all professional commitments, including filming for General Hospital. The typically energetic actor admitted that he had spent much of the holiday season in near isolation at his mountain retreat in Colorado, a getaway that was intended to be joyful and rejuvenating, but instead became a battle for his physical well-being. He also noted how unseasonably low snowfall ironically mirrored the stillness and stagnation he was experiencing internally. Despite his impressive appearance in the photos showcasing a physique that many would envy, Cameron's words painted a much more sobering reality. The resilience he displayed was less about returning to the gym and more about confronting the invisible, ongoing war within his own body. Not long after sharing those photos, however, an internal source close to General Hospital leaked that Cameron had suddenly been readmitted to the hospital, although no official reason was disclosed. Speculation has intensified that his symptoms may have worsened, or that he was experiencing complications tied to the H3N2 virus in combination with the lingering vulnerabilities of his cancer treatment, the overlap of his public return to fitness, and this confidential medical report has deepened concern among his devoted fanbase and colleagues alike. Fueling further speculation is the curious synchronicity between Cameron's real-life health scare and the current storyline involving his character Drew on General Hospital. In the most recent episodes, Drew becomes the victim of a shocking betrayal. Just as he prepares for a vacation with Willow, she suddenly injects him with an unknown substance in the neck, causing him to collapse in pain before falling unconscious. The scene was haunting and unexpected, leaving Drew's fate in limbo and audiences stunned. Given the soap's notorious reputation for weaving real-world circumstances into its storytelling, some fans have begun to wonder if Drew's sudden medical crisis is being used as a narrative placeholder to account for Cameron's potential medical leave or worse, his permanent departure. Although General Hospital has made no official statement regarding Cameron's status on the show, longtime viewers are familiar with how the series manages actors' absences. Characters have been written into comas, missing person arcs, or prolonged overseas missions to accommodate actors' health, personal decisions, or contractual negotiations. Drew's current condition in the storyline, unconscious and being treated off-screen, raises the possibility that the writers are preparing for either a temporary absence or a potential recast, depending on Cameron's recovery trajectory. Despite the on-screen chaos, support for Cameron in real life has been overwhelmingly positive. Fans who might have disapproved of Drew's recent behavior on the show have been quick to separate fiction from reality. They've flooded the comments section of his Instagram with heartfelt wishes, celebrating his strength and applauding his determination to stay active. and positive amid adversity. Messages range from encouragement to warnings to avoid overexertion and let his body heal properly. One follower praised him for reminding us what real resilience looks like, while another noted, "It's not just the muscles that inspire us, it's the strength behind the smile." Still, concern lingers. As of now, there has been no additional update regarding the extent of Cameron's recent hospitalization. In the absence of definitive news, uncertainty grows. The entertainment industry, and especially daytime television, is no stranger to sudden health scares altering the course of both careers and storylines. Should Cameron need extended time to recover, producers may be forced to make difficult decisions about Drew's arc moving forward. While no fan wants to consider losing Cameron from General Hospital, many agree that his health must take priority. In fact, some have suggested that the soap should consider pausing Drew's storyline altogether rather than rushing into a recast or scripted death. For now, Cameron Mathison remains a symbol of strength not just because of the roles he plays, but because of how openly and honestly he shares his journey. In an era where curated perfection is often the norm on social media, his willingness to discuss real health struggles reminds fans that vulnerability is a form of power. The juxtaposition of his muscular photos with a candid discussion of illness paints a complete picture, one that is raw, real, and deeply human. Whether or not he returns to General Hospital in the near future, Cameron's impact on the show and on the hearts of those who admire him is undeniable. He continues to represent not just the fight for physical survival, but also the quiet bravery it takes to face each day with hope, especially when the body doesn't cooperate. And that, perhaps more than any storyline a soap opera could offer, is the kind of drama worth paying attention to. The concern surrounding Cameron Mathison's health has only intensified in recent weeks, not just because of real-world reports of his hospitalization following a severe bout of influenza and pneumonia, but also due to the shocking direction the General Hospital writers have chosen for his character, Drew Kane. The timing of both these developments, Cameron's mysterious health-related absence and Drew's sudden on-screen medical crisis, has led many to wonder whether this is mere coincidence or a deliberate narrative adjustment to accommodate the actor's situation. What was initially perceived as a bold plot twist now appears to be part of a larger behind-the-scenes shift, raising questions about Drew's future on the show and, more critically, Cameron's ability to continue portraying him. In the episode that aired on January 19th, viewers were stunned when Drew, seemingly in high spirits and about to embark on a much-needed vacation with Willow Kane, was abruptly injected in the neck with an unknown substance by the very woman he trusted. The scene was intense, jarring, and cinematic in its execution. Drew collapsed to the ground, writhing in pain before losing consciousness entirely. As his body went limp and the camera lingered on Willow's unnervingly calm expression, fans were left reeling. Was this the dramatic end of Drew Kane's arc? Or was this a temporary exit to explain Cameron Mathison's sudden disappearance from the set? The proximity of this scripted attack to real-life reports of Cameron's worsening health has led to rampant speculation. Within days of his gym photos and cheerful updates about recovering from the flu, insider sources indicated that the actor had been readmitted to the hospital. Though details remain scarce, many believe his immune system, already compromised by previous cancer treatments, may have reacted poorly to the aggressive H3N2 influenza strain currently sweeping across North America. With such a serious health risk looming in real life, the show's writers may have opted to fast-track a story arc that would allow Drew to exit temporarily without needing to address the situation publicly, or alter the broader storyline too abruptly, adding fuel to the fire. Subsequent episodes have notably lacked any substantial presence from Drew. The character has not been shown at the hospital, nor has he spoken or interacted with other characters in any meaningful way. Instead, the narrative has shifted focus to Willow, who has been portrayed as the grieving yet poised wife hovering over Drew's hospital bed. However, keen-eyed fans have noted something unsettling in her demeanor. While Willow appears to be mourning, her expressions, subtle body language, and tone suggest a more manipulative undertone, one that hints at premeditation rather than despair. These cues have led many to theorize that Willow may not be the loving wife she claims to be, but rather a master manipulator with a larger plan. Among the more plausible fan theories is the suggestion that Willow administered a high dose of ketamine, a dissociative anesthetic, known to induce unconsciousness and hallucinations. Given Drew's past with substance abuse, such an injection could easily lead medical staff and friends to believe he suffered a relapse. This tactic would not only eliminate Drew as an immediate threat, but also destroy his credibility if he were ever to recover and expose her actions. Moreover, it would explain the deliberate effort to maintain Drew in a suspended, non-responsive state, making it possible for the writers to keep the character on ice while they determine how to proceed with Cameron's availability. Should this theory prove true, it would represent one of the more intricate and morally dark arcs in recent General Hospital history. The idea that Willow is staging her emotional breakdown, potentially even calling 911 herself in a fake panic when someone inevitably arrives, adds a psychological thriller element to what has traditionally been a drama-driven soap. It would also pave the way for major emotional fallout once other characters begin to suspect foul play, particularly Scout, Drew's daughter, who may be the first to sense that her stepmother is not as distraught as she claims. Scout's emotional connection to her father could make her more intuitive, and her growing maturity might lead her to question inconsistencies in Willow's version of events. Meanwhile, the creative decision to keep Drew silent and invisible only deepens the mystery. There's no confirmation of a coma diagnosis, no detailed medical updates, and most importantly, no resolution. This ambiguity could serve two purposes. It gives the show narrative flexibility, depending on Cameron's real-world health prognosis, and it fuels suspense among the audience. If Cameron is able to return in the near future, Drew could awaken, regain control of the storyline, and potentially set the stage for a high-stakes courtroom or revenge arc. If not, the character could remain in a coma indefinitely, be written off quietly, or potentially face a more permanent exit through an unseen death. All of this hinges on Cameron Mathison's personal health journey, a reality that fans are watching with equal parts admiration and concern. The duality of watching a character slip into darkness on screen, while the actor himself battles an unseen threat off-screen, has created a meta-narrative that blurs the line between fiction and reality. The weight of uncertainty hangs over both Drew's future in Port Charles and Cameron's ability to return to the set in the foreseeable future. And while no one from the General Hospital production team has offered a definitive comment, the silence itself speaks volumes. In the end, the storyline could very well become one of the defining arcs of the season, not just because of its shocking content, but because of the real-life resilience that inspired it. Whether or not Drew Kane wakes up to expose the truth, and whether or not Cameron Mathison returns to finish what he started, one thing remains certain, both in fiction and reality: survival is never a straight line. It's a complex, winding path shaped by moments of betrayal, courage, and unpredictable twists of fate. And right now, the audience is holding its breath, waiting to see what the next chapter will bring. Outside the fictional drama of General Hospital, the real-life journey of Cameron Mathison has ignited a different kind of story, one rooted not in scripted betrayal or medical crises, but in resilience, humanity, and the unwavering support of a global fan base. As news of his recent health complications began to circulate, fans from around the world have flooded Cameron's social media with heartfelt messages, expressing their concern and sending wishes for a speedy and full recovery. Under the latest gym photos, he shared images that radiate strength and determination. Hundreds of comments can be found, offering more than just admiration for his physique. They are messages filled with hope, prayers, and gratitude, recognizing Cameron not just as a talented actor, but as an inspirational figure who has long battled adversity with dignity and grace. This wave of support is especially meaningful, considering the complicated nature of his on-screen character, Drew Kane. In recent story arcs, Drew has become a polarizing figure within General Hospital's ever-evolving moral universe, particularly due to his manipulative dynamics with Willow and Alexis. Yet fans have drawn a clear line between fiction and reality. embracing Cameron as a separate entity from the character he portrays. That distinction is crucial, and it has allowed viewers to engage with empathy and authenticity. They may criticize Drew's decisions, but Cameron himself is seen as a beacon of strength and individual who radiates positivity. Even while facing one of life's greatest challenges, a chronic battle with cancer, Cameron Mathison's ongoing struggle with kidney cancer has been public knowledge since he first revealed his diagnosis in 2019. His journey through diagnosis, surgery, and subsequent treatment was shared openly, creating a powerful connection between him and his followers. Fans witnessed not just his recovery, but his mindset, his commitment to health, family, and optimism. He became more than just a soap star. He became a symbol of survival. Now, as he contends with the aftershocks of a dangerous flu season and potential complications from pneumonia, his supporters believe in his ability to overcome yet again. For many, Cameron's track record of overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds is the reassurance they need to remain hopeful. Still, hope does not erase uncertainty. Despite the outpouring of well wishes, no official statement has been made by ABC or the production team behind General Hospital regarding the actor's current status on the show. This silence has left room for speculation, especially as Drew Kane's storyline remains in suspended animation. The character has not been written off, but he also hasn't returned an ambiguity that suggests a strategic pause. Within the soap opera world, comas are a classic device, offering writers narrative flexibility while allowing time for real-world events to unfold behind the scenes. If Drew remains unconscious in the hospital bed, it may be a calculated choice that buys Cameron time to rest and heal without the pressure of an abrupt storyline exit. This would not be the first time General Hospital has made such an adjustment. The show is known for its creative elasticity, regularly weaving in last-minute rewrites and reversals to accommodate cast departures, returns, or temporary leaves of absence. In many ways, the soap opera format lends itself to these disruptions. Characters presumed dead have returned years later. Villains have become heroes. Memory loss, mistaken identity, and secret twins have been used as mechanisms to preserve or revive beloved figures. In that context, the idea of Drew remaining in a coma until Cameron is ready to return isn't just plausible, it's expected. And if, for any reason, Cameron cannot return, General Hospital still has narrative tools to gracefully transition the role or provide closure, without undermining the investment viewers have made in both the character and the actor. The possibility of a triumphant return is still very much alive in the minds of fans. Just as he did in 2019 when his cancer battle became public, Cameron may once again defy the odds and re-emerge stronger than ever. His gym selfies, while subtle, may already be the early signs of such a comeback. They signal not just physical recovery, but emotional readiness, the first steps back into a public space that loves and respects him deeply. The fans understand that healing isn't linear, especially for someone who carries a history of chronic illness. They're willing to wait, to offer patience instead of pressure, because they know the stakes are much higher than any scripted drama. Ultimately, the situation surrounding Cameron Mathison is a profound reminder of how real life often seeps into fiction and how the most compelling stories are not always those written in a writer's room, but those lived out through quiet perseverance and the unwavering strength of the human spirit. While the future of Drew Kane on General Hospital remains uncertain, what remains certain is the collective hope of millions that Cameron will rise once again, not just as an actor, but as the survivor and inspiration he has always been. Until then, the screen may be dimmer without him, but the hearts of his fans remain lit with love, encouragement, and unwavering faith. Until that day comes when Cameron Mathison confidently steps back into the spotlight, fans are left clinging to what limited signs they can find, subtle updates on social media, brief glimpses of strength through gym selfies, and the cautious narrative decisions unfolding on General Hospital. These small but meaningful signals act as beacons in a sea of uncertainty, guiding an audience that remains deeply invested not only in the fictional fate of Drew Kane, but also in the real-life well-being of the actor behind him. With no concrete statements from ABC or the show's producers, Fans turn their attention to Instagram captions, comment replies, and indirect storytelling cues on screen, anything that might hint at Cameron's recovery progress or the long-term plan for his character. In today's era of hyper-connected fandoms, the line between storytelling and reality is growing increasingly porous. Characters live in the minds of viewers not only during the 2 p.m. broadcast slot, but across time zones and social media platforms. Actors like Cameron Mathison carry dual identities, one as the face of a character, steeped in fictional turmoil, and one as a human being navigating private battles often made public by necessity. In that sense, Drew Kane's current condition on General Hospital is no longer just a plot device. It has become a symbolic mirror of Cameron's real-life fight for strength, stability, and restoration. Every silent frame of Drew lying unconscious, every whispered conversation between concerned characters, and every delay in his recovery on screen becomes more than drama, it becomes metaphor. Cameron's journey has always been defined by transparency and grace under pressure. When he was first diagnosed with kidney cancer in 2019, he didn't retreat into silence. Instead, he chose to share his story with remarkable openness, allowing fans to walk beside him through each step from scans to surgery, from moments of fear to moments of hope. That vulnerability forged a connection with viewers that runs deeper than most actor-fan relationships. So now, as he quietly steps away from the screen to focus on his health once again, the audience doesn't just feel the absence of a character, they feel the pause of a person they deeply admire. The decision to keep Drew Kane in a medically suspended state is telling. It implies compassion and patience on the part of the production team, a willingness to hold space for an actor who has given his full self to the role, and who now needs that same level of care in return. It's a choice that acknowledges the human being behind the performance, offering narrative flexibility while avoiding the cold finality of a permanent exit. That creative ambiguity provides fans a gift they often don't get in the world of soap operas: the chance to hope. Hope that this isn't goodbye. Hope that recovery is quietly unfolding behind the scenes. Hope that when Drew Kane finally opens his eyes again, it will be Cameron Mathison standing behind them, whole, healthy, and ready. For now, the fans wait not passively, but faithfully. They share memories, rewatch favorite scenes, comment with encouragement, and hold virtual vigil across Reddit threads, fan groups, and comment sections. In doing so, they reflect back to Cameron the same energy he has always given them: warmth, courage, and optimism in the face of difficulty. And while scripts can be rewritten and characters recast, the kind of connection Cameron has cultivated is irreplaceable. It's a bond rooted in authenticity, a rare commodity in a world built on make-believe. So as General Hospital continues its tangled storytelling, and Drew Kane remains suspended in limbo, fans know they are witnessing something more profound than a fictional medical emergency. They are witnessing the silent endurance of a man who, even off-screen, continues to embody the heart of a hero. In this blurred space between narrative and truth, between character and actor, the story of Drew becomes a reflection of something far more inspiring: Cameron Mathison's quiet strength. And in that, there is power, there is hope, and perhaps most meaningfully of all, there is resilience.